Yo, what up, y'all? Today, I'm going to be talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves and why I think they are a Western Conference contender and a potential top 3 seed this upcoming NBA season. First off, I want to talk about the Rudy Gobert trade because that's what everybody seems to talk about when talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yes, they did give up too much, but I think it's blown out of proportion by the majority of NBA universe. I think the picks, first round picks are valuable because they are kind of hamstringed in making trades with first round picks since they gave up so many in the Rudy Gobert trade. But quite frankly, they get one first every other year, and their young core is so elite that I don't think they're going to be too hurt. I don't think their long-term outlook is going to be damaged by this trade at all. The players involved, outside of Kessler, wouldn't even really fit in the current rotation, quite frankly. And so they did give up a lot, but I think it's blown out of proportion significantly by NBA media. And it's not as bad as it looks, in my opinion. Not at all. And I think Rudy Gobert is a phenomenal fit next to Anthony Edwards for the foreseeable future, meaning the next couple years. So not too long, but definitely a long time. And I think the playoff experience that Anthony Edwards is going to get from Gobert by his side is going to be extremely valuable in his long run, 100%. So now we're done talking about the Gobert trade. Let's look at this roster. First off, you got the starting lineup with Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. I think this can be a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense this season, 100%. I believe they have multiple offensive scorers. Anthony Edwards and Cat can average 25 plus together on the same night easily. Mike Conley is a masterful distributor and can just run an offense at an elite level, quite frankly. And Jaden McDaniels, knockdown shooter with creation upside that I think a lot of people don't really understand. I mean, Jaden McDaniels could average 20 points per game, in my opinion, easily. His bag is so deep. His mid-range is like almost reminiscent of KD. I know it sounds crazy, but like he is special. The fluidity he moves with is special at that height. And then Rudy Gobert obviously contributes to both ends of the floor. Amazing screener, amazing lob threat, especially, combining him with Mike Conley. That does do wonders on the offensive end for us. So, I think that offense and defense is going to be elite in that starting lineup. Both sides of the ball, I think we check all the boxes. And then when you go to the bench, we have Shake Milton, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kyle Anderson, and Naz Reid as the first 4 off the bench. I legitimately think this is a top 5 bench in basketball without a doubt. I think Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson are 2 top 10 bench players. We'll start off with Kyle Anderson. He is a do-it-all wing that he does it all on the floor. He's a leader, a playmaker, a rebounder, a defender, a creator. He can even knock down the outside shot, create his own shot, like I said. I mean, Kyle Anderson is phenomenal. I absolutely love him. Every team would take him. He's amazing. Naz Reid is one of the most skilled centers I've ever seen. And that's not an overstatement, in my opinion. I mean, the dude's handle at that size, 6'10", 6'11", is insane. His dunk package is crazy. And, once again, talk about the handle. The dude's handle is out of this world. I think he literally has a top 3 big handle in the world, easily. I mean, he is, like Jaden McDaniels, extremely fluid and agile for his size. I think Naz and Kyle can both be 6th Man of the Year candidates, without a doubt, this season. And next up, we have Shake Milton, who I think is an absolute microwave scorer who can run an offense. He's going to be able to space the floor. And I think he's an amazing pickup for us in the offseason. He's going to be a great scoring guard off the bench. He can even fill in for Mike Conley when we need to rest Mike, or if Mike gets potentially injured, knock on wood, hopefully not. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He's not a common name to the majority of NBA fans, in terms of a rotational player. Most people just remember his summer league hype way back in the day, 2019, back with Zion. But if you watched this year's play-in or playoffs, last year's, so my bad, that dude locked up Jamal Murray and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the play-in and playoffs. I mean, he is a special defender. I really like him at the guard position. He can run an offense as well. His jumper is looking really good. If you watched FIBA this summer, he was knocking him down at a 40% clip from 3. I mean, I think he has potential to be the future point guard of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kind of a do-it-all, bigger guard. I absolutely love Nickeil, and I think he is very underrated and an amazing defensive piece to come off the bench, along with a guy that can also fill in for Mike Conley. And then next, I want to talk about Karl Anthony Towns and how this is going to be his revenge season. I see way too many people on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, mocking his voice, how he changes his attitudes and stuff. It's so whack. I mean, Cat is generally one of the most personal, nice, respectful. He's himself. And people clown on him, call him all this stuff. It's so annoying. I want to see Cat succeed so much just for that stuff. But then when he gets disrespected when he's playing as well. I mean, people don't act like he wakes up and averages 25, 10, and 4. I mean, this guy is a beast. Yeah, he's had his moments, with fouling, complaining, kind of shrinking in the playoffs. But I think this man he's going to be a beast this year. He's in his solidified number 2 role, and I think that takes a lot of pressure off him. He doesn't have to be the number 1 guy. I think Cat is going to be taking names this year, and I'm very excited. I believe he can be an All-NBA player this year 100%, and I think he's a perfect number 2 option, 1B if you will, next to Anthony Edwards. And now, speaking of Anthony Edwards, I think that man has top 5 player in the league upside. I mean, everybody knows his upside. Everybody's hopping on the wagon the last year or so. The dude is special. He has it on both ends of the floor. The number one thing that impresses me most about Anthony Edwards is his mentality. He could be 0 for 9 for 3, but it's the end of the game. He's taking that step back 3-pointer for the win. And I don't care if it goes over 10. I trust that guy no matter what. His mentality is what sets him apart from his fellow young peers, and that guy is special. He is going to bring a ring to Minnesota, 100%. And then next, Jaden McDaniels. This dude is criminally underrated. I believe he is a top 5 defender in hoops and is going to be an all-defensive player this year and potential defensive player of the year candidate. I think Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and Jaden McDaniels as a big 3. And then you have Rudy Gobert. I mean, this is one of the most talented rosters in basketball, and I truly believe they are going to shock a lot of people and be an absolute Western Conference contender and potentially win an NBA championship. As crazy as that sounds, I firmly believe that. All I got to say, the Wolves are back.